Pamplona, Spain. Greetings, YouTube. It's Will from StormTheCastle.com, and this is a call to join me on Patreon where you can follow along in the adventure. Last summer, I took a 10-week backpacking trip around Europe. But the highlight of this was a 500-mile pilgrimage that I walked right across the whole country of Spain, northern Spain. It was a wonderful adventure. It's a pilgrimage called the Way, the Camino. It has different names, the Way of St. James. And it was an excellent adventure. I'm actually going to tell you more how I expanded my trip. That took me 42 days. I walked an average of 12 miles a day. But I expanded on the trip, and in about 2 minutes, I'll tell you a little bit more about how I expanded this trip. You might be interested to learn about it. I stood in monasteries and little albergues, which are pilgrims' inns specifically for pilgrims. Because this pilgrimage, people have been doing it for, I think, over 1,200 years. I think it might even be 1,400 years. People have been walking this pilgrimage, passing through little towns in Spain. You know, enjoying the scenery, getting up and over the Pyrenees Mountains. You know, the pilgrimage starts in France and cuts over the Pyrenees. But I'll try not to talk too much in this video. I want you to enjoy the pictures. Of course, there was a blacksmith along the way that I stopped. I got some video footage of that. But all this is on. I don't post much of this stuff to YouTube. I'm reliving and posting videos about all of this. There's a convent I stayed in. I post most of this stuff to Patreon. Let's enjoy some of the pictures here. I'll tell you a little bit. Like, this is a building designed and built by Gaudi in Spain. There's a cathedral, the courtyard of a cathedral. Of course, I enjoyed the artworks. I stopped in museums. All along the way, there are kilometer markers telling you how far you get to go. This is a part of the back side of a cathedral. I enjoyed the art, and I'm sharing all this with my patrons. You know, beautiful small towns in the Spanish countryside. The big cities. I think this is Lyon. Yeah, this is Lyon. Right, the Lyon Cathedral. And that's an actual sign that I didn't put that in. Here's inside the cathedral. And of course, I enjoyed, the museums and the food. The food was amazing. But listen, thanks for hanging in there. Let's continue on with our pilgrimage here. I'm going to tell you a little bit more. I expanded it and not just did the 500-mile walk across Spain. I started the adventure, and I thought, while I'm in Europe, let's see how I can expand on this. So I started the whole adventure on the right there in Rome. I did a bunch of things in Italy and slowly made my way around the Mediterranean into... while I was in Italy, the Renaissance was a big thing that I explored. And then into France, where the Knights Templar and the castles and all of that were a focus of my journey along southern France. But here's some pictures of Rome, the famous fountain. Gentleman is on his phone. The Colosseum. The St. Peter's Basilica. I went inside. All right, there you go. The Vatican Museum. The Pantheon. So I just wanted to say that I chronicled all of this as I journeyed across Europe, and the Vatican Guard, and I didn't walk from Rome. I did a lot of backpacking and a lot of walking, but I stood in little hostels, and there's Pisa, And while I was in Pisa, I had pizza. I couldn't resist, and it was good. But, I chronicled all of this, and I've posted many videos and articles and pictures, all available to my patrons. And, of course, in southern France, I went to Lourdes. And so a beautiful candlelit procession, which they do every night. And one of the highlights of the whole adventure was the medieval city of Carcassonne. It's a walled-in medieval city. I love it. Isn't that beautiful? In the morning sun. There's a game called Carcassonne. Maybe you heard of it. And I visited the Knights Templar Castle in a city in Spain called Ponferrada. And, of course, they have a catapult. So, anyway, if something like this is interesting to you, you might want to hop on over to Patreon. There's a link in the description of this video. Journey along with me on my pilgrimage, 10 weeks across Europe. I had a wonderful time, and I have a lot of insights for you. And I guess a lot of this stuff is kind of like the road less traveled. It's less about me, even though I'm showing you a picture of me right now. It's less about me and more about the adventure that I took. It's really quite a highlight in my life, and I think you might enjoy it too. Here's just a little bit more for you. So thanks for watching. I'll post a few more videos here. But all of this stuff, most of this stuff is already available on Patreon, and I got more coming. The last video I did was called The Maseda and the Ballerina. In this little clip here, I traveled with the ghost of Ernest Hemingway up and over the Pyrenees Mountains. That's not me, that's Ernest.